Yeah, you got two choices, man. Take the blue or the red pill. Take the blue pill, stay your ass in the world and keep on eating microwave dinners. You wanna take the red pill? You can come out and wine and dine with me. It's a mouth, man, let's do it. I got a Kevlar mind with Teflon rhymes, antidote to venomous minds that decline the truth. Trapped in a box, thoughts locked, programmed to be spooked. I'm on some lynch mob shit, but the devil programmed to shoot. And got some steel at the tip of my boots just to regulate. We can get it all night and morning, just name the date. And don't hesitate, being a gangster ain't no good if your thoughts is featherweight. I don't care who got the best team, I'm here to drop the word and keep it moving like jet streams. The luster green got my niggas moving like dope fiends. You gotta see the picture, but it ain't made for flat screens. Lemur Park and Skid Row was where he's last seen. Survivalist with holy water filled in his canteen. The boogeyman's here to put an end to American dreams. I'm out of sight of extraterrestrial beings. Everything the Most High does, I hold it sacred. No stopping the sons of Jacob, you still plugged in the matrix. Me, I took the red pill, shook the snakes and the demons, keep it moving like a tracks on a treadmill. When I say I'm a Jew, I'm dead real. It's hard hats and flashlights on the hunt for Israel. We in the last days to see the killer be killed. But niggas is caught up with talking trucks and big wheels. Heavyweight Solomon tools, I use knowledge to rule. Rejecting wisdom as an act of a fool. Christ is king, born to rule, let's take him to school. Open up the sword, baby, let it do what it do. Simple as that, Van Helsing the rap. I swing lefty when I'm holding a bat, righty when I'm holding a cat, man. On the highway to heaven, dipping out in the fast lane. I let my hair grow, OD'd on road game. Spit the hot shit, taking shots of propane. SOJ created our own lane. Facing for a queen, got no time for a dumb thing. Nowadays to be heard, I gotta be rude and profane. Dumb down my knowledge, make me look like I'm some lame. It's a trip of niggas with chump change, be so vain. It's the principle of truth, IQAhmath his first name. Come on, everything the Most High does, I hold it sacred. No stopping the sons of Jacob, you still plugged in the matrix. Me, I took the red pill, shook the snakes and the demons, keep it moving like a tracks in a treadmill. When I say I'm a Jew, I'm dead real. It's hard hats and flashlights on the hunt for Israel. We in the last days to see the killer be killed, but niggas is caught up by talking trucks and big wheels. Yeah, okay, so understand what I'm putting out there. Red pillars only, okay? You want to take the blue pill, microwave, popcorn your ass to death, go ahead. You know, I ain't got time for that, man. I'm too focused for that. The soldiers that I roll with is too focused for that. So if you want to get down, get your mind right, come and holler at me, you know? Because when Yahweh Shah comes back, it's a rap like a gypsy mummy. A lot of these heathens want to trip and act a fool. I thug it out for the Lord, and I don't need no tattoos. We drop bombs with the Bible while you stand there baffled, looking like you seen a ghost. I'm with the Lord of hosts. Still keep a hood, crack the yak, and we can take a toast. Cheers.
Shabbat Shalom. Shalom. Peace. Welcome to another episode. DSTM. Don't shoot the messenger. This is your brother of my for our first name, IQ. It's all the same. If you've been around, you know what I've been putting down. If you have not, don't get too close because you might get shot. Okay? No sound. I caught myself. I doubled back, made sure that I unmuted, I rewound, I got it right this time. But I appreciate y'all letting me know. Rosemary, the choir, appreciate y'all diligence and let me know. Stay on point, brother. You falling off. Watch out. Forgetting again. I'm trying to get it together, y'all. Prayerfully, everybody's well, man. Shabbat shalom to everybody's in the house, man. Salute to all the family that's been tapping in, wiping their feet, showing some honor and respect, man. Showing some love in the DSTM sphere, as they say. Salute to UZL, Malachi, shalom to y'all brothers, man. Ashar, brother Jason in the house, Jason Man house, shalom to you. Shalak, Deborah, my sister, shalom to you. Rosemary, shalom, shalom, shalom. Overseas, Kohab, shalom to you, good brother. You're in the house, shalom, shalom. My brother Hosai in the house, shalom. The Quabs, the car, shalom and salute to you and the fam, man. Good seeing y'all last weekend. And anybody and everybody else is going to be tapping in as we continue on with this live today for another DSTM episode, man. Spirit told me this morning, man, you know what? Play no games. Just go ahead on and just acknowledge what it is. It's time. Israel has got to pick a side, man. You got to acknowledge what's in front of you right now. Good is set against evil, man. Things are just outright blatantly being put in our faces. And our people love to still kind of turn a blind eye to it, man. You want to be optimistic. You want to think that maybe it's not that bad. Maybe you guys are just putting a little bit too much extra on it. Maybe because of my doomsday scrolling, it's really not like that. You got to really understand that, no, it is like that. Everything that you're seeing blatantly put in front of your face, from the targeting of our people, the technologies rising up, rise of the machines, all those things that's going on, economic collapse. You see what's happening, wars jumping off, earthquakes, sandstorms over there in Phoenix, Arizona. You see the Transformers is running around here, shooting down kids. I mean, yeah, it's that bad. And you've got to be able to say, man, look, this thing is evil that we're in. This world that we're in is evil. And either I'm going to ride with it and I'm going to make excuses for it, I'm going to be complicit with it, or I'm going to make a decision to say I have to be drawn away from that, and I got to make a change within my life so I'm not held accountable for what's going on in this place. I'm not adding to the wickedness and to the evil that's going on. You understand? That's where we're at right now. So you're seeing, and it's cyclical, in the spirit. When it comes down to our doctrine in the Israelites, in regards to the truth of the Bible, we face many challenges throughout our tenure. However long you've been in the truth, if you've been in there for a little bit of time now, you've kind of seen certain things play over and over again. So on the stage of debating doctrine, we've gone through Islam, 5%, atheism, Gnosticism, gone through Catholicism, all of the particular doctrines, Christianity in all its forms, right? Kemet, Pan-Africanism, Nubianism, all of the above, we've all encountered and had to deal with these particular subject matters that come up to play in opposition to our doctrine, right? So we've gone through them, chopped them all down, continually stand strong and growing through those terms. Now it's back, the cycle has turned back now again, where our beloved brothers and sisters who are trapped with the Christian and Catholic needles in their arms are rising up again, challenging us again over doctrine. So it's time that now, again, here we go, good being set against evil, right? It's that time now. If you're in the spirit, you've been seeing debates and things like that going on in the Israelite community, Christian world, or whatnot. It's that time, man, because now we're seeing the gloves being taken off. Satan is out there throwing out his agents, hoping to pull away some of the elect, the hopeful elect, hopefully trying to draw more confusion, hopefully trying to make sure that you don't hold on to that crown that's been placed upon your head in the spirit. Hopefully you don't get that crown, right? No longer holding fast on what was promised to you. Let's get that in scripture real quick. In Revelation 3. And then we're going to get another scripture in because at this time, you're going to have some people scratching their heads saying, well, maybe there is Gentile salvation. Maybe there is a triune God and Christ is the Most High. Or maybe we don't need to keep the laws anymore. Maybe I've been just, going through all of this where I don't have to keep the Sabbath anymore. Why am I torturing myself going through all of this? You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is the time where people are getting drawn to and fro with every wind of doctrine, getting caught up. Men are leaving the truth, going back into the world, back gang banging, back pimping, back go. Women are leaving. And just as they're leaving, men are coming in, women are coming in 2- and 3-fold, being replaced. That's just how it goes. Until the Most High is done sifting and gathers his elect, right? Revelation 3:11, behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. So whatever you have, your information, the doctrine that you have is important for you to maintain and hold on to in this very moment. You don't have to be the deepest of deep brothers. You ain't got to have the masterful breakdowns, as I always leave you in parting. What do I say? According to Ecclesiastes 12:13, fear the Most High, keep the commandments. That's the whole duty of man. That's what you have to hold fast to. Because at the end of the day, that's how you're going to obtain your crown. through the favor and the grace of the Most High, right? Through Yahweh Shah, that's the only way we're going to make it, right? You know, let me get this other scripture in I think it's in Sirach. Let's say it's in 26. Give me 1 second. So what we're trying, the message to be relayed is that everybody needs to just hold fast, hold tight, right? If you've chosen good, stay on that side, right? You chosen evil, then stay over there. Stay over there. Get away from me. Okay. Let me get this other scripture. Let's get the Matthew. Matthew 24 and 22. It says, except those days should be shortened. There should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. So the Most High is giving grace for the elect by acknowledging and saying that as far as time is concerned, many of us can attest and say, man, time is moving fast, man. Can you imagine? We're already 8 months into 2025, so-called, right? 4 more months, less than 4 more months. I mean, no, hold on. We're going to be in September come Monday. So figure 3 more months after that, we're in 2026. 2026. There's algorithms, computer modelings, there's war experts and all that saying that some are saying World War III officially, all nations being involved, well, not all nations, but major nations being involved in conflict will start next year in 2026. There's some that saying, obviously, we've covered and documented things where China said they're coming down to seize Taiwan by 2027. So there's plenty of opportunities for us to see that time is being cut short right now. When you see the oppression that's going on here in America for our 10 tribe brothers and for the Southern Kingdom, both, right? This is what we're seeing being imposed upon us. Hold on. That's what we're seeing being imposed upon us. But it says the days are going to be shortened for the elect's sake. But what it said before this, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever will be. So we're getting ready to encounter times that's going to be like nothing we've ever seen. I don't care. There ain't a movie that you could compare it to. There's not a history book that you could have read that could give us a glimpse of understanding what we're coming into, man. It's a fearful time. Fearful time, So these are the things that we have to be encouraged to watch for. Let's go to Sirach 33. And start at verse 10. It says, and all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge, the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse. So we're not all the same. Contrary to what the Christians would love to say, the Catholics would love to say, the humanists would love to say, we're all God's people, we're all from the same blood, we're all the same. No. The Lord said he took intricate time through knowledge to divide us, right? And said, made thy ways diverse. We're clearly different than the rest of the nations, man. That's why the Lord said in Exodus 19 and 16 and Deuteronomy 7 and 6, we are set apart. We're a chosen people above all nations, a holy priesthood, right? And even in the ESV, it tells you that we're a holy race in 2 Peter 2 and 9. Made our ways diverse. We set the trends. We established the quote unquote vibrations in the earth, and the rest and all flow to the tune of where and how we move. I mean, you got to be special, man. We're the bottom of the totem pole. When you look at stereotypically throughout the earth, Blacks and Hispanics, man, are all looked at as ignorant, dumbed down, savage, violent, prone to violence. Never acknowledge all of the great contributions that we've done. We don't need to go through it all. We know about all of the inventions that we've done, the holistic methods of healing that we've done, the manner in which we've been oppressed throughout the four corners of the earth and still managed to be influential throughout the earth, all the medicinal advancements that we've done, right? This is all coming through the spirit that the Most High gave us. He said through knowledge, he made our ways diverse. He purposefully did this. Okay. Now, let's get over here and continue on. Hold on one second. This shit is crazy. Okay. Continuing on. Now it says, in much knowledge, the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified. Okay. We're just going to keep it simple, basic, right? Because, our people love to say, well, we're all guys, but we all come from the same shit. We're all the same. No. Well, Acts says we all share one blood. What's that have to do with anything? Because even in those terms, all right, I didn't even mean to go here like this, but oops. Even in those terms, right? We're all from the same blood. We're all come from the ground. We'll get to it in 1 second. So getting back over here, it says, some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified. Sanctified means to set apart, right? To be holy, to be exempt. Been blessed and exalted. Really? Okay. Deuteronomy 7:6, for thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power, unto Yahweh thy power. Most High Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. He's selfish with us, above all people that are upon the face of the earth, right? So what about all those that say, well, yeah, we all come from what's that one in Acts? Here we go. So Acts 17:26. You're gonna have some of our people, who love everybody. They'll go to Acts 17, and he hath made one blood of all nations of men to dwell on all the face of the earth, and hath determined the times before he appointed and the bounds of their habitation. Yes, he did, right? But remember, the Lord said that he, through knowledge, separated us, and then appointed, anointed, and chose us to be above all the rest of the nations. So how do we answer that? We'll go to 2 Ezra 6:54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. Okay, no dispute there. And the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before, O Lord, because thou madest the world for whose sake? Our sakes. Who? Chosen people that come from Adam. As for the other people, everybody else, all which also come of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. I got this little water. You know what? Drink it. I don't like it. Spit it out. That's how the Most High feels about the rest of the nations. If it was empty, you think I'm struggling trying to tap out that last little drop? No, doesn't matter. If I got a little extra water in there, I might try to dry it out, clean it out, get rid of it, right? And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. See, our people are being seduced through Christianity. They're being devoured through idolatry. They're being devoured in various ways, right? Oppression, lies, monetary means. Been devoured, man. We're being taken advantage of. So-called Africans, man, they running over here selling us kente cloth and dashikis and all kind of stuff. But meanwhile, they want to wear Nikes and wear their hat to the back and want to dress like us. And here we are trying to connect with the quote unquote ancestors, selling us idol heads and African statues and all that. They ain't got that crap up. They don't give a damn about that. They putting up white Jesus in their houses. That's how our people getting devoured, man. Moab comes over here fresh off the fish boat, man, buying Louisiana fried chickens and setting up Chinese food spots in your neighborhoods and liquor stores and swap meets and everything else. Fully devouring, taking advantage of us, doing what they please, right? But the Lord said, but these were the heathen that the Lord said was forever been reputed as nothing. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover are given into their hands. That's the problem that we've encountered, right? So, continuing on, let's go back to Ecclesiasticus, Sirach. Verse 12, one more time. It says, some of them hath he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself, but some of them hath he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. So we've been able to see the dynamics play out throughout history with our nation as well as the other nations, right? Verse 13, as the clay is in the potter's hand to fasten it at his pleasure. That's the problem that our people have, is understanding the pleasure, the will, and that the Most High set forth. If the Bible said that Christ is a white man with white, with long, strong, stringy, blonde, sandy brown hair, whatever, I would have to ride with it. It is what it is. If he said he loved everybody in the world, he was going to bless everybody in the world with the kingdom and so forth and so on, I'd have to bow down to that. But it doesn't say that. And that's just what it is, right? Now you see some of the Christians are now starting to tweak a little bit, and they're acknowledging, oh yeah, there's going to be, servitude, slavery in the kingdom, so forth and so on. Oh, but it's going to be the pagans, it's going to be the heathen, it's going to be all those who rebel against God. Wow, I thought they were bound for destruction and hell. What happened to that? See, they're tweaking and they're bending a little bit, but they're trying not to break. Eventually, they're going to get broken. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fasten it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh him best. Verse 14. Good is set against evil. This is what we're talking about now. This is the time that we're in. This is whether you've got a marital situation, you're going to have division that's coming into play. Your kids might be rebelling against you. You're trying to get them to follow after the laws and the commandments. There's going to be times where you're going to say, you know what, there ain't nothing I can do but lay down the righteousness and follow after good. If evil comes my way, I have to be prepared for it because it's set in motion. Good is set against evil, life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So when we're seeing these particular debates and things that happen, in particular these Christians or whatnot, and God bless, as they say, God bless those who are sincerely trying to understand what the truth is and not just blindly following along with religion and going along with the hype and going along with traditions that they were being raised, that this is how you're supposed to be. All our families are Catholics. You're going to follow. God bless those who are sincerely looking and listening, trying to find the truth. Because if you leave it to the scriptures say that sin is a transgression of the law. So anybody who's saying that the laws are done away with, they are considered sinners and they're going about battling against the godly. So this is what it is. We see what's playing out in front of our faces, right? Not only that, we're seeing our enemies rise up against us. You see what's happening with Agent Orange and his administration, how our people are under attack, not only from the immigration standpoint, but economically. He's hitting us in the pockets with Medicaid, layoffs, inflation, right? Hitting us with the mass incarcerations, FEMA camps, detention centers, call them what you want. They're all being lined up, set up against us. He's attacking history, trying to take down the Smithsonian and talking about how Black history needs to be toned down and can't be so woke. And we don't need to be talking about slavery like that. And all of the above, you know what time it is, right? So while we're seeing this particular attack and our people are sitting back having voters regret, Latinos for Trump, blacks for Trump, and all. They didn't understand the battle that we're in right now. And this is what it is. Verse 15. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. There's always set opposition that's in motion. You know, it's positive and negative, if they call it in science. Asian philosophy, they talk about the yin and the yang and all of that, right? Everything is always set in the balance. And this is what we got to understand and see. Book of Amos 5, verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. So this is the experiences that brothers on the highways and the byways have experienced and continually experience. You're getting more hatred and vitriol for being out there, rebuking and teaching our people. Well, the scriptures tell us that that's what you're supposed to do. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. Show my people their transgressions. In the house of Jacob, their sins. That's open rebuking. Y'all always yelling, y'all always getting on the people. What the Lord says, show them, tell them, but heal them as well. It's not a chop shop session, man. Brothers, don't be out there every chop. No, you got to heal them as well. You're not doing a good job as a physician of the word if you're not cutting them open to pull out the cancers, and then you have to stitch them back up. Right? But this is what we see. You know, you're hearing these these threats to Christians running around. I'm running down on you. You Israelites, if you out there. Yeah, all those Bayan out here. Bayan ain't out here. It's all good. But I finally seen the video. Brother sent me a video. Some Christian out there in Detroit talking about, if I see you Israelites anywhere in Detroit, I'm running down on you, and I'm defending the gospel. I don't care what camp you are. I mean, they're getting bold with it, man. They getting bold. They're getting their heads chopped off. They're putting it back on, becoming Frankensteins, getting sewn back on, coming back zombied out to get some more. I was gonna say a whooping. Let's put it like that. Get some more a whooping, right? But it says, hey, they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. For as much therefore as your treading is upon the poor, and ye take from him burdens of wheat, ye have built houses of hewn stone, and ye shall not dwell in them. Ye have planted pleasant vineyards, but ye shall not drink wine of them. For I know your manifold transgressions and your mighty sins. They afflict the just, they take a bribe, they turn aside the poor in the gate from their right. So this is the curse, and these are things that we have to go through. But let me drop down. I really want to read verse 14. It says, seek good and not evil, that ye may live. That's the point. So it's not clickbait. It's not trying to be sensational or sensationalizing anything. The Bible tells us that if you want to live in these last days and times, man, when the times of Jacob trouble come into play and the afflictions rise up, even worse and more heinous than they are right now, the Lord said the only way you're going to live is to seek good. Good. And you say, well, what's good? Well, one thing is, Proverbs 4:2 says, for I give you what? Good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law. That's part of doing good. First thing is not to forsake the laws of the Most High. That's how you're going to live. Seek good and not evil, that ye may live. And so Yahweh, the power of hosts, shall be with you as ye have spoken. See, that's what we gotta rise up for. Slack y'all. Give me 1 second. Slack y'all. All right, let me get back over here. Back to Amos. Lucky. We finished Amos. Let me go over here. The computer gets to tripping. That's why I was late earlier, man. I've been having a lot of little technical issues, man. Satan up here moving. Psalm 34 and 14 says, depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. We have to constantly be in pursuit of it. We got to constantly be chasing after good, chasing after the righteousness, departing from anything and all things evil. Can't be complicit in these days and times, man. That's for real. We got to choose up. Psalms 119 and we'll read 104. It says, through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore, I hate every false way. Christians say you can't hate. You can't hate. No, you got to hate every false way. That's for sure. Otherwise, you're going to be complicit and make excuses about it. Let me read this in Psalm 119. And let's get the Hebrew word regarding a precept. What is a precept? What do we see here? A precept is a statute, right? Probably appointed, for example, a mandate, the law, commandment, precept, or statute. So when we see how we gather and gain understanding, what makes us, allows us to put us in positions to hate false ways is through the commandments, through the precepts that the Bible gives us. That's the only way. So when the Bible tells us precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, that's how we gather understanding, is through the laws of the Most High's word, through our readings, through our studyings, understanding the righteousness of the laws and the commandments of the Most High. Then the Most High can impart understanding to us. Psalms 111 and 10, the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endure forever. So that's why we say how we read the Bible, here a little, there a little. It's all based upon us getting the commandments to gather our understanding of the scriptures better. But it starts with the law. If you don't fear the Most High, the beginning of wisdom can't be there. You won't have no understanding of his word until you acknowledge his commandments. This is why people are running from religion to religion, faith to faith, denomination to denomination, because they're trying to find out what's true. They're trying to figure it out. But at the end of the day, the principal matters of which they need in order to understand it, they won't get it. I've read the Bible 5 different times while I was locked up, and you still come out a dead nigga. What happened? You missed the key components of how to get greater understanding of the Bible. So with that being said, where's my ops? That's right, I had to restart. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me find this. Here we go. Get this. Make sure this is visible for everybody. All right, looking good, looking good. So I'm coming in clear. Throw a 7 in the chat for me. Do your brother that solid. I want to make sure that I'm coming through clear. Been having some issues up here on the tech side. Let me know before I continue. You seeing clearly? Everything good? Okay, all praises. All right. So in continuation, last week we talked about Venezuela being put in a position to where America is talking about invading Venezuela. So we talked about south of the border, how and why they do, regime changes, and particularly they've been targeting Venezuela for years on end. The IMF sending out loans to them, trying to bait them in through monetary means, trying to oppress them. with high interest loans that they're unable to pay. When they can't pay, guess who moves in? Good old Esau to take over and colonize a whole new country. When Venezuela paid off their debt, they told America, get the hell out. We ain't got nothing to do with you no more. We're not taking any further loans. That's out. We see what you're up to. You're operating under Satan. You know, even with Hugo Chavez, he even said in the speech, I made mention of it. He said that after, I believe it was George Bush left, he said it still smells like sulfur at the same podium where they spoke at. So that was him throwing a jab saying the white man is the devil. So now we're seeing why America is forcing their hand over there. We've seen everything that they've done. They got a warrant out for his arrest. I think it's like $50 million. They seized his plane, talking about he was doing money laundering or drug, some madness. But y'all seen all that foolishness, right? So Maduro is not backing down because he knows that he's got China and Russia is backing him up. They haven't committed to any particular war-based defenses, but he knows that at the end all be all, their resources of oil and the connections that they have that other nations could utilize is still valuable. Even though the sanctions and the restrictions that America's thrown on Venezuela, they know that what they still got is useful to other nations. Maduro cites Rubio's madness and sends 15,000 troops to the border. So here we are with another aspect of war. Venezuela vowed to reinforce security along its border with Colombia as President Donald Trump's administration sends U.S. warships to the Southern Caribbean. Nicolas Maduro used his weekly television show to confirm he ordered the deployment of 15,000, quote, well-armed and trained men and women to the states of Zulia and Táchira. He also singled out Trump's top diplomat, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, warning the U.S. move risked becoming a debacle. Unfortunately, this gentleman, with his madness and extremism, could lead President Donald Trump to the worst possible scenario in Latin America and the Caribbean. Maduro said Monday evening, we will emerge victorious from this situation. And one thing that's important to recognize too is that through Agent Orange and the Trump man, he's trying to fully oppress all of Israel. You see, they're making moves over there in Haiti. Remember we talked about them trying to go get the quote-unquote gang leader barbecue? And they're trying to go and recolonize and take over Haiti in the Caribbean. Now they're double backing over here in Central America to try to get rid of Maduro so they can take over that, right? So he's slowly but surely trying to recolonize and conquer these same countries who gave the middle finger to America. Now he's trying to get it all back. So it's not ironic that we're seeing him moving his forces in on both sides. Look at this. Let me see if I can play this. This I found interesting because this is a post off of X. It says Israeli defense minister threatens Yemen with the plague of the firstborn. Now, if we think about that, what or how could there be a plague of the firstborn? We know what happened in a history of Israel and our escaping up out of Egypt, right? Plague of the firstborn, death angel came through, killed all of the firstborn of the Egyptians and everybody dwelling in the land, except for the children of Israel who were keeping the Passover and had the blood post, the doorpost with the blood on the door. They were spared. Now, in this particular scenario, when you're speaking about a quote unquote plague, let me get this up. Let me see if I can see. Talking about a plague, you're talking about something similar of a biological weapon. They're openly saying we're considering doing something that fast. Let's look at this. Defense Minister Israel Katz writes, today we destroyed the Houthi presidential palace. For every missile they launched toward Israel, the Houthis will pay with compound interest. Today we brought upon the Houthis a plague of darkness, and next will come the plague of the firstborn. And it's even interesting that they're even talking in biblical terms when it comes down to these wars that's jumping off now. You don't hear quotes from the Quran. You don't hear quotes from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Everything leads back to our book. And all nations recognize it. All nations are sitting back saying, hey, you know what? These are all, you hear about plagues coming in, destructions coming in, quote unquote, national disasters of, quote, biblical proportions. They always, like to throw in the Bible in most references when it comes down to destruction, judgment, things of that nature. This biblical reference in the book of Exodus, they talking about the plague of darkness. We already know about that, right? It says cats invoked the imagery just hours after Israeli airstrikes on power plants in civilian areas in Sana'a, which cut electricity and killed civilians. His words equate Israel's next step with mass indiscriminate punishment. Oh, men, women, children, doesn't matter, huh? Extending the genocidal rhetoric of Gaza, and they're saying that the Palestinians are Amalek, man. That's if that ain't misdirection, I don't know what is. But if they can take our identity, why can't they throw another identity on somebody else? I mean, this is classic classic foolishness, man. With them, they just try to just dictate who's who now. But here he goes right here.
תשקף מאגרי דלק ותחנות כוח וחשמל. אנחנו ממשיכים.
I don't want to hear him sound like he got a mouthful of food in his mouth, in his mouth as he's trying to display. But this is what he basically said, translated, regarding the this part right here. Now he's talking about the plague of the firstborn, man. I mean, how are you going to establish a plague that's going to kill or destroy firstborn of a particular nation? I mean, they might go biological weaponry bombing. They may be sliding up in there in those refugee camps or whatnot, man, poking them up with something that's going to take them out. May cut off their reproductive, abilities. Or they just may go all out and just say, we don't give a damn, like we've been seeing. But I thought that was interesting that they're talking about utilizing a method to destroy the firstborn of the Houthis and the people of Yemen through a plague. So be on the lookout for that. We'll see what happens with that. Continuing on, Russia threatens to march on Paris as all-out World War III fears erupt. We're seeing the heightening of war with Europe, NATO. Russia's already kind of moving past Ukraine. I mean, that whole thing is over with. Regardless of what America's talking about. Oh, now what's the name? I forgot the little peace ambassador that Trump done sent over there. Now he's talking about, we're going to revisit the peace talks probably by the end of the year, end of the year 2025, where we're going to have a peace deal in place. Get out of here, man. You said 24 hours at first. Then it was 50 days. Then it was 10 days. Now give us 3 more months. Kicking the, what do they say? Can down the road. Moving the goalposts. That's out of here, man. So the possibilities of war extending out into Europe could happen. I mean, we've heard this rhetoric before from Putin. And he's still eating my so he's prone to have a forked tongue and tell some lies too and throw out some veiled threats. But we'll see what happens with that. Russia's issued a terrifying warning to France as tensions between the two countries threaten to explode. The French president is the latest Western leader to be singled out for rough treatment by Kremlin propagandists and to become, quote, public enemy number one. And mind you, France is about the size of the Midwest. France, the whole country of France can fit in America. All it takes is one bomb, one ICBM, and France is out of here. So keep that in mind. Russian missiles pound Ukraine, damage EU and British offices. So now we're seeing even more indiscriminate bombings after the meeting that Putin had with Trump. So, I just needed a few more witnesses just to kind of say, hey, you know what? All that peace talk, all that stuff, that's not going down. Because look, they've even gone through heavier bombardments in Ukraine, and now they're damaging the EU and British offices. How is the EU, NATO, how are they going to respond to that? Even American facilities have been hit over there. Somebody's got, my thing is, one of these nations gonna have to say, you know what, the hell with that. He's attacked. Now, they won't say it's a direct attack on their country. In those cases, Article 5 got to get introduced and NATO's got to join in the war and they all got to jump on in. But because these are offices and facilities of different countries in Ukraine, and Ukraine is technically not NATO, oh, we can't, yeah, they hit our office. We don't know if we were the target or not, but we still can't join in. We'll fund you some more money. We'll send you some more weapons. We'll, cater to you in those fashions. But other than that, sorry. But I'm saying, hey, you knock down the office of mines in this particular country. We need to talk. Look, Pentagon has quietly blocked Ukraine's long missile strikes on Russia. So the U.S. has doubled back and said, hey, you know what? We're not going to allow these long-range missile strikes on Russia anymore. Has America caved in and said, hey, man, let Russia do what they're going to do? Something else is going on behind this. What? We'll see. Remember, Trump said that if they can't come to a peace agreement, they might just back out and they'll just sell weapons and things to Ukraine. Instead of just giving it to them like, Slow Biden was doing. Slow Biden was tricking like a mug. Slow Biden was out there making it rain on the Ukrainians. But the Trump is cutting them off. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Mystery surrounds $1.2 billion Army contract to build a huge detention camp in the Texas desert. So here they are continually building up. Let's see which FEMA region Texas is. Let's see. They're getting ready to spend $1.2 billion. FEMA Region 4. There they go. Obviously, with Texas being the biggest state in the country, they're going to have probably the biggest detention center for people. Right? And now we're seeing this come to pass. As we would call conspiracy theories are crazy and y'all are tripping. FEMA camps are legitimate. We're seeing it here. Alligator, Alcatraz, and all the rest are being funded by FEMA, supported by FEMA, calling them detention centers. Now they're getting ready to invest $1.2 billion for a new huge detention camp in Texas. You think that's just all for illegals as they're running the streets, talking about they're cracking down on crime now? I mean, if the typical federal and state penitentiaries are overcrowded, where's the overflow going to go? As the language of the laws are starting to change, where more crimes can now be, assessed as, quote unquote, hate crimes, seditious, anti-government rhetoric. They're utilizing all different kinds of means to lock people up now. A traffic stop, as we're going to see in a little bit, traffic stop now can get you locked up in a detention hole and disappeared. When Donald Trump's administration last month awarded a contract worth up to $1.2 billion to build and operate what it says will become the nation's largest immigration detention complex, it didn't turn to a large government contractor or even a firm that specializes in private prisons. Instead, it handed the project on military base to Acquisition Logistics, a small business that has no listed experience running a correction facility and had never won a federal contract worth more than $16 million. The company also lacks a functioning website and lists as its address the modest home in suburban Virginia owned by a 77-year-old retired Navy flight officer. That should have your antennas up within itself. Remember what we talked about, the private army, the Gestapo system being used by Agent Orange, right? what we call it, private police. We'll just look at this line real quick. Gestapo was the official secret police of the Nazis, Germany, and in German-occupied Europe, created by Hermann Göring in 1933. He committed widespread atrocities against political opponents, ideological dissenters, Jews, and other groups, and was declared a criminal organization by the Nuremberg trials. So when we see this word, a secret police, that we're understanding what's going on right now. Secret police jumping off the Stasi. Here's another. The Ministry for State Security, commonly known as the Stasi, was the State Security Service and secret police in East Germany from 1950 to 1990. Secret police. And here we are with a mysterious acquisition logistics company who, out of nowhere, no background, no knowledge about correction facilities, never won a federal contract, and no website, and the only thing that it lists, his address is to a 77-year-old retired Navy flight officer in Virginia. Who are these people? Who are these people? That's what I'm talking about. Evil is in front of us, and our people sitting back saying, "What? Huh? I don't know what you're talking about." The mystery over the award only deepened last week as the new facility began to accept its first detainees. The Pentagon has refused to release the contract or explain why it selected Acquisition Logistics over a dozen other bidders to build the massive tent camp at Fort Bliss in West Texas. At least one competitor has filed a complaint. The Pentagon has refused to release the contract or explain why it selected Acquisition Logistics. That should tell you something. But I digress. Let's continue. Trump signs an executive order establishing specialized National Guard units to address crime in cities. So look at this. There's no state of emergency that's going on because of crime in cities. There's not mass rioting, jumping off. People are turning over city, mass looting and everything. That's not going on. But he's twisting the facts. He's twisting things to say, oh, well, we got to stop the crime in D.C. D.C.'s out of control. Every city, major city, has crime that's out of control. Not even out of control. That's just typical crime that's jumping up. He's making it sound as if there's civil wars and there's uprisings all across the country. The police need help. And we need to set in the National Guard to stop this. That ain't what's going on. But narratives are being painted to say, hey, you know what? We need troops on the streets. Specialized units, that is, to address crimes in cities. Y'all seen the video last week with the cats in D.C.? Sitting on their porch, chilling, and they roll up on them? Or was that 2 weeks ago? The Trump signed an executive order Monday tasking his security of defense, Pete Hegseth, with establishing specialized units in the National Guard that will, quote, be specifically trained and equipped to deal with public order issues. The clearest sign, yet he intends to expand the U.S. military's role in domestic law enforcement activities across the country. So they've been saying it. Get used to it. This is the new norm. Troops on the streets, assisting in state and local police matters. as they're supposed to be there to kind of back up and support. But before you know it, that's going to be out. They're going to be actively involved because there's going to be somebody in some groups or whoever. It's not going to ride with this, and possible civil wars jump off. Gunned down. Horror moment. Masked gunman disguised as a delivery driver kills Zelensky's ally in a broad daylight assassination. So, add this to the pot. They ain't stopping, man. A former parliament speaker and MP Andriy Perubi, damn German name. I mean, Russian name, Ukrainian names, whatever. 54 was killed in a horrendous shooting in Lviv, with the killers still on the run. So they're bombing. They're carrying out assassinations. I mean, there's no ending to this war. This is the gateway that leads to World War III. If it was closed, man, then the Bible is a lie. But we're seeing it playing out. Here's another one. Pass this along to your, but we're seeing it play out. What the playing out? Here's another. See, that's what I'm saying, man. There's spirits galore jumping off on this technology, boy. Pray for your brother, man. Pray for everybody out there, man, because it's weird stuff going on right now. Anyway, you notice I ain't touched my phone, and you just heard the volume go up. If you can hear that on the mic. But anyway, pass this along to your loved ones. Our people have an infatuation with swine, let alone just undercooked meat, period, right? But look, notice this. It's a fry-up lover who ate undercooked bacon, ended up with pork worms in his brain. We always talked about this for years on end, trying to give our people the devastating reasons as why they should cease from eating swine, but they just can't get away from the hog mugs, the chitlins. They can't get away from the pork chops. You can't get away from the bacon and the pepperoni and everything else. The sausage. Folk have been warned to make sure their bacon is crispy after a fry-up fan who ate his undercooked ate his undercooked. So I guess fry-up is maybe some brand name of bacon. A swine bacon who ate his undercooked ended up with pork worms in his brain. The 52-year-old sought medical help after weekly migraines grew worse, and he reported a severe pain across the back of his head. The scan revealed multiple cyst-like lesions scattered across the brain. We've talked about this for years on end, about trichinosis, however you want to pronounce it. And this is generally from undercooked meat. But who tells you to eat undercooked meat, huh? You ain't got to eat swine. What's the white man tell you? Oh, your best way to eat your steak is medium rare. Medium rare. He like his with a flash in the pan. He still wants to see the nerves moving. He said, that's perfect. It's still twitching. Perfect. Cutting it, blood leaking all out. He's a beast, man. He can do that. He can eat that stuff, man. His body is built to digest them things. Ours isn't. Ours is not. Trichinosis, parasitic disease due to invasion by a trichinella. I don't know what that is. SPP. Trichinosis is also known as trichinellosis. Trichinellosis is a parasitic disease caused by roundworms in the Trichinella genus. During the initial infection, invasion of the intestines can result in diarrhea, abdominal pain, and vomiting. Migration of larvae to muscle, which occurs about a week after being infected, can cause swelling of the face, inflammation of the whites of the eyes, fever, muscle pains, and rash. Minor infection may be without symptoms. Complications may include inflammation of heart, muscle, central nervous system involvement, and inflammation of the lungs. But look down here where it says Trichinella from eating undercooked meat is the cause, mainly from swine, but it can also come from everything else. Anything undercooked. This is why the Most High told us, man, you got to eat your meat fully cooked, no blood. Damn beast, man, he loves to eat that stuff, man. That's why Job said, man, you can't sit with my dogs. You might eat the food. He might take the food from the dogs, man. You seen them eating mice, man? They eating dog food. They doing whatever, man. I mean, these cats is out of control. You ever seen that guy, the Liver King? He ends up being a fraud. Before we read that, let me give you an example of what we talking about. That old documentary about this guy. He's talking about how he's going through what was his diet? He was his old social media fitness influencer, and I think he calls his diet the paleo diet or something like that. Talking about you got to get back to the essences of, you know, got to get back to the essence of, his Neanderthal ancestors and all that. Now look, he's eating raw meat, raw liver, all this other stuff. Turns out, man, this guy was on steroids, all kind of drugs, faking until he make it. There was a whole, I think Netflix did a whole documentary about this guy, man. Here you go. He's a beast, man. This is what they do. And you can see all kind of videos on TikTok and all kind of them eating and doing the same stuff. Leviticus 17:11, for the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls, for it is the blood that makes an atonement for their soul. Verse 10 is what I want. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel or of the strangers that sojourn among you that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. So obviously we don't eat blood. Our meat food must be fully cooked. Number one, we shouldn't be eating swine anyway, but that disease can come from any meat that is undercooked. I don't give a damn if they say, well, you cook the steak too much and it starts to be like leather. But then if you don't like that, then don't eat steak no more. The Lord said you better cook your meat all the way. So the plagues is out there attacking people. It's important that our people pay attention to what's going on. All right, let's continue on. All right, next one. All right. Now they're talking about ICE showing up in California hospitals. Workers want more guidance on what to do. They're shaking down, they're running down, going into hospitals now. Federal immigration agents are more routinely showing up in California medical facilities as the Trump administration ramps up deportation. They've been talking about the ICE agents now, man. They're having battle fatigue now. They're getting worn out from quotas that's being set, all of the changes that they're being told that they got to go do. Some of them are having regrets now, like, damn, I didn't sign up for this. This is crazy. They want us to do this now, that now, man. How many do I need to make sure I got locked down? They're getting wore out, man. Look at this. They may come to the emergency room bringing in someone who's suffering a medical crisis while being detained. They may wait in the lobby, as agents did for 2 weeks at a LA hospital, waiting for a woman to be discharged, or they may even chase people inside. And federal agents did it at the Southern California Surgical Center. The sight of these agents, often armed with covered faces, makes many wary and may keep people from seeking care. But notice this. The hospitals are all in cahoots, and they say nothing wrong with this. This is nothing new to hospitals, said Lois Richardson, Vice President and Counselor at California Hospital Association. We get inmates, detainees, arrestees all the time. Whether it's police, sheriff, highway patrol, ICE, whatever it is, the job for the hospital workers remain to provide care, she added, and not get involved in disputes over why a person is in custody. So it's one thing if they've been injured, you bringing them into custody. Yeah, that's one thing. Hospitals, you don't get involved. They're getting involved with emergency rooms. They're jumping up in there, man, snatching people up out of beds after they've got treatment. So they're going to hospitals, churches, jobs, Home Depot business. I mean, they're on the mission. down to missing, right? Florida cops turn traffic stops into deportations. A ride along shows how the state's police force has become integrated into federal government's enforcement efforts. You're here illegally, right? Minor traffic stops, whatever the case may be. First thing they're asking, are you a citizen? Don't let your English be broken. You out of here. Master Sergeant Tony Kingery of the Florida Highway Patrol was driving through a commercial district one recent morning looking for immigrants in the U.S. Illegally when he spotted a white van missing its front bumper. He tailed the vehicle, flashed his lights, and pulled it over. Kingery told the driver about the bumper and a broken taillight and asked for his driver's license. The driver, who was Hispanic, didn't speak English. He handed over a Guatemalan consular identification card. Are you a U.S. citizen? Kingery asked him. A Hispanic passenger who spoke English said the driver's papers were, quote, in process. Kingery asked the driver to get out and handcuffed him. Just got to check you, okay? He said both the driver and the passenger were arrested for suspected immigration violations. See what I'm saying? Our Northern Kingdom brothers, man, you better have your head on a swivel and you better be legit. You riding around here with broken headlights and tail lights out and all that other stuff, and you can't speak English, they don't give a damn. You're out of here. Oh, his papers are in process, or then he ain't here legally, and you knew about it, you're going too. Wild stuff for y'all. YouTube. Oh, now look at this. Here's the tech. YouTube secretly used AI to edit people's videos. The results could bend reality. This is why the B system is in full flare, man. If you've seen the little video that I did the other day about the transformer, we'll talk about him in a minute. The transformer that went up, shot up the Catholic school, right? You have to quit. You have to be in a position of questioning reality now. YouTube is already jumping in, editing people's videos using AI, thinking they're helping you out. You know, tweaking your face a little bit, making you look a little better here. How long before they have you saying something that you didn't say? How long before they completely, hijack your video without you knowing? Because many times, man, I don't go back over the videos. Once it's out, I let it go. I'm on to the next. I remember years ago, when we was at True Nation, our old congregation, there was a video when COVID first happened, and I started doing the current events on that, and I said they don't want to say that it's a pandemic, but I used the real word, and I didn't know that they had edited my voice from saying it. And one of the brothers came and told me, he said, man, they edited your video. They muted you when you said that. I said, what? Nah, you lying. Played it back for me. YouTube had already edited me saying pandemic. And because I said they don't want to say it's a pandemic, right? But I used the real word. And as I was going into it, and of course, months later, they start calling it a pandemic. But at the time, it was early. It was like early 2020. Yeah, it was early 2020, maybe March, February, somewhere around there. So I was already on top of it. I'm moving into it in the spirit, going to it, talking about how they're going to move with this whole thing. And they're going to say they don't want to call it a pandemic right now, but blah, 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 blah. And sure enough, man, played it back to me and edited me in real time. I said, what the hell? So to see that once a video has been uploaded, YouTube is already coming in and tweaking and doing what they want using AI with your content. Look at this. YouTube made AI enhancements to videos without telling users or asking permission. As AI quietly mediates our world, what happens to our shared connection with real life? This is why I say, and I've been saying it for years on it. We're only renting digital space here. This is not my channel, our channel. You don't have a Instagram page. You don't own none of this. Anytime they want to hijack it, anytime they want to intervene, anytime they want to delete, anytime they want to regulate, it can happen. We're borrowing. People are monetizing these things. They're allowing ads on their videos. They're doing all kind of stuff. You don't have no control of this crap. Look at this. Rick Beato's face just didn't look right. I was like, man, my hair looks strange, he says. And the closer I looked, it almost seemed like I was wearing makeup. Remember? Some of y'all might remember years ago, I said, look, if you see me in any compromising position that may look like I'm moving in abominations or against the laws of the Most High, like voices getting tweaked, talking about PDF file activities, transformer activities, sodomite stuff, because that's how they would defame the Israelite. Best way is to show that he's breaking the same laws that he says he's upholding. So don't fall for the okie doke, y'all. That's not me. Notice it said this guy, Cat said, man, he looked like he had on makeup. Beto runs a YouTube channel with over 5 million subscribers where he said, where he's made nearly 2,000 videos exploring the world of music. Something seemed off in one of his recent posts, but he could barely tell the difference. I thought, am I just imagining things? It turns out he wasn't. In recent months, YouTube has secretly used AI to tweak people's videos without letting them know or asking permission. Wrinkles in shirts seem more defined. Skin is sharper in some places and smoother in others. Pay close attention to ears. You may notice them warp. These changes are small, barely visible without a side-by-side comparison, yet some disturbed YouTubers say it gives their content a subtle and unwelcome AI-generated feeling. Yeah. Because now, with everything that goes on with AI, and us even questioning what videos are AI and what isn't, the way they're making these new videos where it looked like real people talking and all these scenarios and all of that. There was one man, brother sent with a fake AI pastor questioning the validity of the Bible in the pulpit. How do we know the Bible wasn't written by? There wasn't nobody there. There was no reporters there. Who gave them their information? You know, like some wild stuff. Now, if you can have some AI videos, man, to make you look like a damn AI, but it's really you, then people are going to say that video was AI. I could tell because I could see the warp on the ear. I could say that ain't a real video, and you could be telling some real stuff. I could be saying some real things, real breakdown, real history, real scripture. And they say, oh, that's fake. It's getting wicked out here, man. Wicked out here. Look at this. How the NYPD's facial recognition tool landed the wrong man in jail. Surprise. Travis Williams is 8 inches taller than the man accused of flashing a woman in Union Square in February. The police arrested him anyway. AI again. Facial recognition. This is all things that they're putting into effect. Didn't they just had I just covered an article last week about Home Depot using facial recognition, recording and taking your likenesses without anybody's permission at the self-checkouts. If you notice now, a lot of stores now are going to self-checkouts where they throw you on the camera every time you go, and it's a convenience because you see everybody else standing in line with the regular checkouts. And next thing you know, you're like, man, ain't nobody over there at the self-checkout. I'm going to go get up out of here. I'm trying to get out of here. And they go in and they filming you and they're taking your imagery. Now, here you go. Facial recognition. February, a woman told police that a delivery man had exposed himself to her in a Manhattan building. He was about 5'6" tall. 2 months later, evidence shows the police arrested the wrong man. He was 6'2". The man, Travis Williams, was driving from Connecticut to Brooklyn on the day of the crime, and location data from his phone put him about 12 miles away at the time. But a facial recognition program plucked his image from an array of mugshots, and the woman identified him as the flasher. See, that's all it takes. He's 12 miles away from the scene of the crime. Height. 8 inches taller than the cat who actually did it. They using facial recognition and probably AI to enhance the imagery. The woman don't know who's who and just says, yeah, it's him. But you got enough information to say they couldn't have been, this guy was 12 miles away. How did that happen? Doesn't matter. Trust in the tech. Like Mr. Williams, the culprit was black, had a thick beard and mustache, and wore his hair in braids. Physically, the two men had little else in common. Mr. Williams was not only taller, he also weighed 230 pounds. The victim said that the delivery man appeared to weigh about 160 pounds, but Mr. Williams spent more than 2 days in jail in April. How many, I mean, this is just facial recognition, but how many of our brothers and sisters are sitting in jails right now for crimes they didn't commit? This tech is going to be used in heinous ways, man, to get it. I mean, how the hell the woman could have easily seen, like, no, that guy's way taller. He's bigger. She looked at mugshots. They grabbed the cat up, man. They like, hey, that's him. Until they finally realized, oh, the stature doesn't match, weight doesn't match. Oh, he was 12 miles away at the time. Whoops, sorry, guy. Go ahead on out. And our people ain't in position to even double back and try to sue or do anything. I mean, who's trying to go to war with the beast in litigation? You ain't got the money or lawyers to go. What are you going to get from that, man? The dude could have lost a couple of days of work, traumatized, whatever. I mean, sometimes you got to go through with it. But what are we going to do, man? It's the beast system that's getting fully put in place. Eyes in the skies, mistaken identities. But you notice all the facial recognition and these tools, AI tools, man, who are they getting programmed by? How are they creating these particular profiles? Obviously, the programmers are putting in all these things saying, yeah, this guy, black people, Hispanic people, look like this, do this, speak like this. And they create these profiled imageries of us. And next thing you know, you get locked up with mugshots, mistaken identity. Oh, no, it was you. Our facial recognition tool shows us that was you. No, it wasn't him. Now look at this. Rapper charged. Rapper Lil Nas X pleads not guilty to attacking cops as he appears in court on 4 charges after walking through LA naked. Now, if y'all remember this cat, man, this guy, wicked as all outdoors, doing anything to go viral, but in particular, pushing a sodomite agenda, pushing a satanic agenda, pushing a lascivious, wicked agenda, right? This is all things that got him cracking. He had that hit song, Old Town Road, some years ago. I don't know where he's been, what he's been up to, but apparently he's been high out of his mind, walking through the streets in Hollywood or LA, not only naked, but having his drawers on. Look at it. This was his shoe line. He had a shoe line, Satan shoes, that he was selling. Lap dancing of pigmentation, a figure of Satan in the video. And even in this pose, it's insinuated that some Hershey Highway activities going on here. And now down here, he's imagery of him being pregnant. Here he's one of Satan's angels. This is him all showing the influence that music industry does to our people, the selling of the soul, the compromises that they do, the agendas that's being put in the forefront. But guess what? The chickens that came home to roost. All them demons, all them spirits, all that things that he got put on him. Now the Most High done got his little narrow ass. Wicked as hell. And all them spirits that came along with it, man, now he's getting overtaken. Let's read that over at Mark. I think it's in Mark the 8th chapter. We'll go to 5. Because it's a spirit, man, that comes on these cats, man. Mark 5. We'll read one down. It says, and they came over unto the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gadarenes. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling among the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains. But, because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces, neither could any man tame him. So this cat, man, Legion, had a spirit on him that was unbelievable. Multiple unclean spirits on him, hanging amongst tombs, amongst the dead, probably doing all kind of occulted, satanic, undead worship, necromancy, all kind of stuff. Chains on him. He'd break the chains. Nobody could deal with him. And always night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones. But when he saw Yahweh afar off, he ran and worshipped him and cried with a loud voice and said, "What have I to do with thee, Yahweh, thou son of the Most High God?" That's a whole nother story for the triune God worshipers. But anyway, because they love to say that Jesus is the Most High. I can't tell. Anyway, I adjure thee by the Most High that thou torment me not. For he said unto him, "Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit." And he asked him, "What is thy name?" He answered, saying, "My name is Legion, for what? We are many." And he besought him much that he would not send them away out of the country. Now there was there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding, and the devils, plural, besought him, saying, "Send us into the swine that we may enter into them." That lets you know, man, that there's a spirit in that swine too, man. That's why you hear them always oinking and all over the damn place and making them damn vile noises and tripping. Devilish spirits is in that flesh, man. Where else could you got to imagine these particular demons wanted to be placed back into a host where they were comfortable. Remember, they noticed they said, "Don't send us away out of the country. Don't ban us and destroy us." But remember, the scripture even tells us, man, fear not him that can destroy the body, but him that can destroy the soul and spirit, right? Paraphrasing. So they said, man, put us in another comfortable host. Throw us in the swine. That's why you see our people acting a damn fool, man. They dietary choices are creating and having devils and spirits on them, right? That's one thing. Now, there was another. I'm trying to think of this others. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but just in Revelation 11, this just gives us more credence to the type of spirit that, you know, America endorses, stands behind. There's rewards now for carrying out demonic activity. And for a struggling artist, somebody who wants some attention, somebody who wants to be recognized, somebody who wants to go viral, they will expose and destroy themselves and their spirits and their souls and their chance of salvation, all for the momentary attention that they seek. Revelation 11:8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. This is a spirit that is on this place. And this guy was a representation of it. Man, the transformer stuff, man being able to get pregnant, all this other stuff, all the sexual activity, all of the merchandising and marketing, trying to sell satanic shoes. But what, see, this is what you got to realize too in the spirit, right? He's part of the alphabet community. He's the LGBTQ plus HIV community. And this is who's fueling those groups and them people. It's got to be. Look at it. Rapper Lil Nas X is pleaded not guilty to a 4 felony charge. I don't know if y'all seen the video of him walking in the streets. I was going to play it, but they blurred out the nakedness. I don't think YouTube's gonna let that slide. It was on TMZ, their website. But the dude was bugged out, high out of his mind, and that's what happens too. They deal with high drug usage because they escapism, man. It's the demons and all the spirits that's all on them. Only thing they can do is kind of sedate themselves. You do too much, you end up like him, right? You're always hearing about these parties with them using GHB and ecstasy and all kind of stuff, man, chasing after these damn demons and carrying on. Lil Nas X has pleaded not guilty to 4 felony charges, which include attacking cops, but could face prison if convicted. Now, he's not gonna go to jail. They gonna heavily fine him. They gonna let him slide. He didn't do not much that anybody else would do. I was high, we'll throw him in a little rehab. But this only goes to show people to understand that when you play with the Most High, the Most High puts you out there. Now he's walking in the streets naked, bugged out. After all the fighting that he's done, his career pretty much over. I don't think he's doing, I don't know if he's doing music anymore or what's going on, but he's turned him over to his own devices, and now he's battling spirits. 26. It's your first time hearing him, Hashmat? Well, good. Good. He didn't make your radar. You really ain't supposed to hear about it. Only thing, he had a big song called Old Town Road, and then he has some other stuff going on, but he's mostly known for doing outlandish, sodomite stuff to go viral, I guess. But anyway, it says 926 denies the charges relating to last week's episodes when he was scooped up roaming naked around the streets of LA. The rapper allegedly charged at and assaulted cops after they were called to reports of a man wandering around in buff on Ventura Boulevard. TMZ citing police. He faces 3 charges for battery with injury on a police officer and 1 resisting an executive officer. Most I willing, man, he gets tapped on the arm, and they pull his ass in and knock him down for a little bit. He might like it. He did do a damn video about him being in jail, and all the damn sodomites was in. All the guys was in jail. I don't even know the Lil Nas X. He might like it, man. See, look at it. This is a damn music video. He's acting like he's in jail, and everybody's in jail. The sodomites. Now, see, truth or stranger to fiction, man. He didn't talk the spirit up on him. Now his ass might go to jail. And all these damn gay ass. Good Lord. I forgot about the video until it just popped into the spirit. He sure did do this. Him and this damn Edomite. See? Birds of a feather, man. This is what happens when you deal with these damn demons, too. They co-sign and allow him to do this stuff. I don't even know. I forgot the name of the industry, baby. I don't know what the hell the name of the song was, but look at this. All these little fags in it. All right, let me get up out of here, man, for YouTube. Before I get upset. But now he's really facing, that time. Right. Lord willing, he gets judged, and he sees the light and repents. But until then, let him deal with the judgment. Let me flash back on this real quick too. Minneapolis shooter, 6 secret notebook reveals he was, quote, tired of being trans. If y'all didn't see, some of y'all may have, I don't know, sometimes when I do impromptu stuff during the week, YouTube don't send it out there like that. Y'all end up catching it on the back end. But I did a little breaking news episode regarding this Transformer, Decepticon man that shot up the Catholic school, killed 2 people, injured 17. And how, if we check history, check and understanding how our enemy works, that this guy, and I said this before I seen this article regarding them utilizing mentally ill people, MK Ultra type stuff, people that's been turned out for these particular attacks. And then the day after or 2 days later, I seen this article and they were talking about more things that was in his manifesto and in his notebooks where he says he was tired of being trans. This guy was, see, people think it's a choice. It's not a choice. I was born this way. No. What did he say? And moaned about being brainwashed. Transgender mass shooter Robin Westman complained about being, quote, tired of being trans and had been brainwashed in a chilling manifesto before killing 2 children in a mass shooting at a Minneapolis Catholic church. That should tell you everything. Brainwashing, and he got tired of going along with the program. Oh, he was meant to be that way. And his parents encouraged him. The mama was co-signing him. The daddy supposedly has some CIA connections and Department of Defense connections. Very interesting. Court records seen by the Daily News reveal Westman, 23, was previously known as Robert before changing his name in 2020. According to court papers filed in Dakota County, Minnesota, from the time Westman wanted to the name Robin to reflect the identifying as a woman. But in a handwritten manifesto shared by the shooter in a YouTube video before opening fire, Westman appeared to question that decision. I only keep, quote, the long hair because it is pretty much my last shred of being trans. I'm tired of being trans. I wish I never brainwashed myself, the killer wrote in a scrawled cryptic message. I can't cut my hair now as it would be an embarrassing defeat, and it might be a concerning change of character that could get me reported. So who got to him? Who brainwashed him? Who took advantage of his weak mental mind state, man, and made him a crusader for the transmissions? I'll let you be the judge. If you didn't see that video that I did on Tuesday, I believe it was Tuesday, go back over it. I read some of the book out of Behold the Pale Horse. Talked about how 7 days prior, the legislation for armed drones being used in school shootings was already on the table around the centers down there in Florida. And the rest of the country is saying we want into armed drones being mobilized and used, which could be on the scene within 5 seconds. 7 days later, here comes a mass school shooting. How ironic. Then you got a book from 1990 saying that they were going to utilize mentally ill, schizophrenic, people to carry out school shootings, to bring attention to the Second Amendment. And should they still allow it? Truth is stranger than fiction, y'all. I'm trying to say it. Here we go. Look, and this is part of the dynamic too. What was he saying? Where is your God, right? The transmissions, man, and all of them, they all got the same agenda, man. They are anti-God. They're driven through satanic means. This is how we know why Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, because they were into all kind of things that was demonic, satanic, and living life in pure evil. And now we're seeing even more evidences of those things, be it Lil Nas X and all of his innuendos and all of the subliminals that he was throwing out there. Now we see a real life one who's writing these particular phrases on magazine clips, right? To show their devotion to their God. In closing, did y'all hear about this guy? David Taylor, man, Pastor David Taylor, mega preacher, man. And that's not the church. That's his house. That's his house. Busted. $50 million scam. Scamming people. And not only scamming people, but damn near doing human trafficking, forced labor. Let me let the report play. Y'all can see for yourself.
Two church leaders with ties to Tampa are facing federal charges tonight. They're at the center of what investigators are calling a multi-million-dollar conspiracy involving money laundering, forced labor, and abuse. This follows multiple FBI raids this morning, including...
Do you see this dude's house? Do you see this house? This is in Tampa, Florida. You would think that he's in England somewhere. Church leaders accused of running forced labor scheme. He's got multiple cars in the back. Some of them got gift wraps on them. And this is all from the good old church folks' money. That's his crib subsequently, yes. You're going to hear the dimensions in a minute.
At a home in the affluent Avalon neighborhood in Hillsborough County. This was part of a nationwide takedown. Fox 13 is covering this investigation from multiple angles. Our Kylie Jones is at the federal courthouse in Tampa, diving deeper into the church and its leaders. But we begin with Aaron Mesmer live in Avila with more on the raid and reaction from neighbors. Aaron.
Yeah, Haley, and these neighbors were absolutely stunned by what went on this morning. Neighbors in this community, they woke up to helicopters and FBI agents raiding a home in Avila. And once they found out why those federal agents were there, it was even more surprising.
Some of you say, I don't have 100,000, but you have 20,000. You have 50,000 here, or you have 10,000.
That's video of David Taylor asking viewers to set.
Did you hear this guy? He went from 50,000 to 20. He's talking not dollars, thousands of dollars, man. Hold on. Let's get a couple scripts on these greedy guys, man. Wicked as the day is long, man. 2 Peter 2. Let's read 1. It says, but there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them in, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. So not only do we see that relevant within the church and the Israelite community, but we see it also in the churches, false teachers bringing in damnable heresies, which are damnable false doctrines that are unscriptural, right? It says, even denying the Lord that brought them in, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. Continuing on, it says, and many shall follow their pernicious ways. So this guy feels comfortable enough to be jumping out there talking about how much money. I mean, he was putting quotas on these people. He was recruiting and getting people in. They were calling them armor bearers to work in these sweatshop based call centers to get people to pander and give them money. And he had quotas for them. If they didn't come up with their money, he was denying them food, all kind of matters. And that's why they said it was a nationwide thing, because they was posted up in many different states. It was in Florida, they was in Texas, Michigan, Missouri. This dude was running a whole operation, $50 million operation. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. And through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you. See, taking advantage and making merchandise of the people. Feigned words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not. You go? Yeah. All right. Now for a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. See? Making merchandise of the people. Jeremiah 23. The Lord said, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, the power of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, saith the Lord. See, the Lord says he's going to visit upon them the evil of their doing. The chickens are coming home to roost, man. David Taylor and that little wicked scallywag woman, white woman that was in cahoots with, they're out of here. And he's been on the radar for a long time too. He got caught in another scandal some years back. What other word? It was something else he did. There was something else he did. see, notice here it says finally arrested. But he had did something else too, man. Yeah, see here, this is from 2023. Trial set in the case against two of David E. Taylor's ministries. The defendants of Kingdom of God Global Church and Joshua Media Ministries filed a motion to ask the judge to prohibit the plaintiffs from presenting evidence. I don't know, but I know he got caught in some other stuff too. But this one was from 2023 that he was affiliated with some more folly. But look at it, Ezekiel 13. It says, "And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel that prophesy, and say unto them that prophesy out of their own hearts, hear ye the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Most High Yahweh, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the deserts. Ye have not gone into the gaps, neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord." David Taylor and such men alike are like foxes, man. Slick, cunning, crafty, seductive, man. Getting our people caught out there. And it wasn't just he was getting at the Edomite, he was getting at anybody and everybody who would throw him some money. Throwing some money. You know, so we know about the pastors and all those teaching profit and gain. But this guy got busted. Finally, as they say.
Two church leaders with ties to Tampa are facing the church and its leaders, but our Kylie Jones is at the federal courthouse in Tampa diving deeper into the church and its leaders. But we begin with Aaron Mesmer live in Avila with more on the raid and reaction from neighbors. Aaron.
Yeah, Haley, and these neighbors were absolutely stunned by what went on this morning. Neighbors in this community, they woke up to helicopters and FBI agents raiding a home in Avila. And once they found out why those federal agents were there, it was even more surprising.
Some of you say, I don't have 100,000, but you have 20,000. You have 50,000 here, or you have 10,000.
That's video of David Taylor asking viewers to send money to his church. Federal authorities now say Taylor used donations to fund an extravagant lifestyle that included this massive mansion in Tampa's affluent Avila community. FBI agents raided the home Wednesday morning.
It's very surprising to hear that type of thing was going on, again, right in your backyard.
It's unclear what authorities took from the home. This view from Skyfox shows several cars lined up with gift bows on top. Neighbors say the 10-bedroom, 10.5 bathroom, 28,000 square foot mansion is one of the largest.
Subsequently, you get the dimensions: 22,000, 10 bedroom, 10 bath. Ask me if he's got that many children. Does he need all of that? No, none of the above.
It's in Avila.
Because they was like, how could a pastor afford to live in a house like that?
According to the 23-page federal indictment, this house is one of several properties throughout the country purchased by Taylor's Kingdom of God Global Church. He's the pastor and referred to himself as an apostle, according to court documents. The indictment alleges Taylor recruited people to work at call centers, referring to them as armor bearers. Investigators say they were his, quote, personal servants who fulfilled Taylor's demands around the clock and were never paid. Taylor and Executive Director Michelle Brannon are accused of controlling nearly every aspect of the workers' lives, cutting them off from family and forcing them to take contraceptives. Human trafficking advocates say it's a devastating situation.
And you really had every...
Notice when it says forcing them to take contraceptives, I did a little bit more reading into the article that I had, and it said that these people that he was allowing, or that he was telling them or bringing them in, that were recruiters, the quote unquote armor bearers, they were bringing in women to him as well. And the women were being forced to have contraceptives so that he didn't want his seed, you know, to be put in these women that he was sleeping with. So not only was he, they're going to bring it up later, but they're going to bring in sex trafficking and all that on it, because the let me back it up.
Forcing them to take contraceptives. Human trafficking advocates say it's a devastating situation.
And you really had every aspect of human trafficking. You had individuals who were, brought to a facility that they couldn't leave. They weren't being paid. They had production goals that they had to meet.
And authorities say if the workers failed to reach Taylor's monetary goals, They faced punishment, including public humiliation, food and shelter restrictions, sleep deprivations, and physical and psychological abuse.
This dude was running a whole cult-like slave labor camp over there, right? I'm gonna read a little bit of this article real quick that I just pulled up on my phone, where it gave more detail. It says, over the past decade, the operation allegedly funneled more than $50 million into bank accounts tied to Taylor's church. Instead of charitable causes, prosecutors say the money funded his lavish lifestyle, including multiple Mercedes-Benz and Bentley automobiles, a Rolls Royce worth more than $120,000, ATVs, jet skis, and luxury homes. The indictment also claims Taylor ordered recruits to perform domestic tasks for him, from cooking and cleaning to bringing women to his home with strict demands they take contraceptives beforehand.
The Crisis Center of Tampa Bay's CEO says these victims will likely face,
and that's an article from Yahoo,
a long recovery. She says there's another lesson every community can learn from this.
This can happen in one of our most affluent zip codes in Hillsborough County. It can happen in your backyard. It can happen in my backyard.
As for the folks who lived with alleged human trafficking, fraud, and
this guy said he's an apostle. Would you trust a guy looking like this saying he's an apostle for the Most High? Very interesting. Very, very interesting, right? Let me give one more scripture before we get up out of here. 2 Corinthians.
Two church leaders with ties to Tampa are facing federal charges tonight. They're at the center of what investigators are calling a multi-million-dollar conspiracy involving money laundering.
Let me get one more for David. 2 Corinthians. I want that. Yeah, verse 13. It's jumping around, man. What's going on? We'll just read verse 13. It says, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. He's one of them. Claiming he's a disciple, an apostle, man, doing all kind of manners of abominable works, man. Pimping, forced labor. I mean, the list goes on and on. That's why we say you got to choose up now. Got to. It's like, let's get to one more, man. The quietness out in your neck of the woods, man. Hopefully, you and the family's all right. I'm sure y'all are good. You on today, but I know I saw this. I meant to hit you up, but you know how it go. We all in our own zones of. That's no excuse, though. I don't even want to make no excuse. I should have hit you up. That's what I need to acknowledge. But nonetheless, you see this monsoon dust storm leaves thousands without power in Arizona.
Overnight, apocalyptic scenes unfolding in Arizona.
There they go, apocalyptic, right? Who knew? I mean, it does look like a scene out of a movie. I think it was one of the Mission Impossibles. They had like a sandstorm out in the Middle East.
Holy moly.
A massive dust storm blanketing the Phoenix metro area. This time-lapse video showing the imposing wall of dust engulfing Arizona State University's football stadium and blotting out the sun. The towering wall rolling in, an incredible view from above showing the sheer size of the storm.
It goes up thousands of feet and it rolls and it's fast.
Scared the life out of me.
Drivers hit with monsoon rain and winds of up to 70 miles an hour as the dust storm, often referred to as a haboob, rolled in, plunging the city into zero visibility.
You couldn't see anything in front of you, and it just got really dark. It felt like I was from an apocalypse.
At Sky Harbor Airport, a ground stop ordered.
Literally nobody will launch into it.
The airport damaged, its roof leaking. Over 300 flights delayed. In the powerful storm's wake, debris left in the streets. Nearly 50,000 customers left without power. So as we said, the monsoon season should have started months ago, but kind of welcome to it now. And let me show you where it's all going to happen. In the area shaded in light green here.
So we were talking about that monsoon season, Naquan, but yeah, I seen it. It's coming in late. That big old dust storm, man, was pretty crucial. I told you 50,000 without power. went through, destroyed a lot of things. You know, these are the type of situations we always talk about being prepared or having things in place in the event that something like this goes down, right? We ain't talking about this going to save you from Jacob's trouble. No, there's just simple things that happen just in life and in general, and in conditions of where we live at, or economically that can go down, that you can save you and your family some hell and torment by having things in place.
Here, this is where we're going to see some light.
I know I harp on this a lot, and it seems redundant, but I think it's important to send reminders to brothers and sisters. Economically, what we're heading into, man, is all bad news, man. Forget what what's the name, Agent Orange is talking about, and Doge and them saving money and cleaning out the swamp, and stuff is getting worse, right? 78% of HR leaders in the U.S. say that their companies are conducting serial layoffs, and we are being warned that a major cost of living shock is coming. Don't be out there frivolously spending, getting new credit cards, going out there thinking about, I'm going to go get this new car, pay this extravagant note. You know, don't set yourself up for that, y'all. It's time to buckle up, be wise with your spending habits, your living situation, so forth and so on. I mean, if you got and you're in a position to where, you know, money's not an object and you're good to go, this ain't for you. This is for those who are living check to check, trying to figure things out, just holding on to your job, or you've been acting a fool on your job, and you've been doing things that could possibly get you fired. You've been late every day. Hey, straighten up, because the next round of layoffs and economic depressions, and particularly for our people especially, is coming around the corner. And you already know Agent Orange is already cutting all the federally funded safety net programs, where it ain't gonna be, oh, we ain't got enough, we can't help you, you can only be on it for this long, or even with Medicaid, for those who have Medicaid or need Medicaid, for seniors and so forth and so on, they're getting ready to cut all of the not all, but they're getting ready to cut various conditions and procedures not being covered, and AI is going to decide whether or not they're going to cover it. Medications, things that you used to be able to get, hey, they're getting ready to cut a lot of that stuff off. So if almost 80% of HR and major in companies are saying serial layoffs, meaning back to back. You know how a serial killer, one goes down, oh, next thing you know, another one 2 weeks later, a month later. That's how they're saying layoffs is coming. Other than the early month, I was just talking to a brother the other day, and he's contracted with Amazon doing Amazon drivers. Trucking. He's got his own truck, but he does the Amazon loads with them. He told me that everything is automated AI. He said you don't even, he'll go to the yard or whatever, pick up his container, knows where he needs to go. Everything's track traced. They watching everything he do. They got him on an hourly thing, hourly time block. Go to drop the load off. Everything is automated. He said you go in, you see the robots and damn AI moving the boxes and everything, loading everything. You go pull up, you give them the number, speak into the damn computer to tell them what number your load is and all this other stuff. You go in. He said, man, you might interact with one person. Everything else, everything is automated. Everything, right? So it says this is what's going down. So I'm not going to dwell too much on this. It's been on the screen long enough, man. Y'all probably had time to read it, but know that down the pipeline, man. If you got a job, you want to secure it, man. Lock it down and do your best to keep it, because hard times is coming. All right. As we see one more thing too, you see here the CDC now. I thought that they used to be the saviors. Remember that from 2020 down to 2023, 2024, because of the whole pandemic, everything was going on. The CDC was God. Now they're imploding. They're walking out. Top level employees or directors are being fired. There's all kind of madness going on within this place, man. You know, this is why you see America is fumbling and plummeting into the abyss as far as their ability to maintain a structure here, right? At least 5 senior CDC employees, including its director, have resigned or been fired since Wednesday. So is RFK Jr. in there cleaning house, doing what he needs to do? Or is this just an overall collapse for them to bring in something new? We already see that they're already, minimizing the FDA regulations on what they're approving to be sold in the stores now. They're kind of backing off on a whole lot of different things, but at the same time, they're looking at the mRNA, tech with the pokes in the arm and things of that nature. So we just see here that this is still even more. They talk about unprecedented walkout. That even the medical system is collapsing, and their structures that they have lined up for how they're going to control the diseases. Remember that CDC, the Center for Disease Control, how they're controlling these things? They're even losing a grip on it. Even on that, right? There you have it, y'all. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High, white outside, man. Another one in the books. Salute to the families in the house, man. Everybody that's stuck in here. Roll with me through the technical issues, the spirits moving in here and out of here, whatever the case may be. But we still here, 10 toes down, not being moved by none of the above, right? So all praises, man. Y'all always remember how I do it, and y'all should do it. Fear the Most High, keep the commandments. Don't shoot the messenger. Tune in later on today. We've got another closing Sabbath class, 4:15. Most High permit. Come on in, support, and we'll see y'all then. All right. Shalom.